Give up about 6 checks recently. We've got to get out of here fast. Fadlan asked the brothers. How are the brothers? The soldier looked sad and worried. Report back the situation, Your Highness. The brothers scattered everywhere to draw the fire. For the sake of protecting Your Majesty. Even if only people. We must also leave this place. Hearing that, Ferdinand became angry. He held his hand close to the voice. God damn it, can we leave this place? The brave men of the Bombay family will never back down. Anna clasped her hand to the shield. The expression on his face said desperately, Your Majesty, the fighting situation is now. The Fadlan turned his face dark. Eyes full of determination said, There's no way. You can only ask for help from the boss. Now, intelligence needs the support of Ferdinand, transmitted back to Simon's camp. Chief Simon shouted angrily. What did you say? The subordinate holding the telegram read the contents of it. His Highness Ferdinand leads the avant-garde. Are experiencing heavy 7 losses in the depression. Through your request for help. Simon angrily snatched the letter from his servant's hand. And then he yelled at the bastard. Send me a letter quickly. Simon's face was full of emotions. From panic and fall back into meditation. Then he tore the letter in 2. His face firmly confirmed the groundless story. The servant was also afraid of the blue. The sweat flowed clean. He hurriedly reminded Simon. Power down. His Highness Fadila is still struggling with the enemy. Waiting for your rescue. Can you throw away your brother? And then this soldier gets eaten. Swords of death in the middle of his stomach by his comrades. Simon has a cold face. Give orders to go down. Seal off the news. I've never seen this guy before. The subordinates obeyed orders and answered clearly. A white-haired woman. Look dress style. He seems to be in the royal family. She also felt Simon's behavior is a bit accidental, so I asked him. Your Highness, we really don't care about the 2 SAOs. Even before leaving, the chief brought him to you. The appearance of Simon was extremely indifferent. His face was as cold as ice, as if there's no kinship with Ferdinand. Without hesitation in answering, save him for something. At first, he didn't listen. Just do it yourself. Death is worth it now. He doesn't believe the intelligence from the Fadlan. Porcelain element of the land. You can shoot a gun without the element. Why is it possible? It's all about rhetoric. The Bombay family didn't save him. It only concerns us. Send the command down. Let the whole army prepare for good. Waiting for Ferdinand to die. Bombay family. We will once again conquer the land. Moving the scene to Ferdinand's temporary hideout. Several hours have passed. The night falls. I could only hear the wolf howling and the tiger screaming for hunger. That's it. We haven't seen the shadow of Simon's support army yet. Ferdinand leaned tired against the rock. He impatiently asked his subordinates when it was. The blue-haired soldier replied with a sad face. Your Majesty, the sun rises. It's about 4 hours. Ferdinand asked again. Get the message to the boss. I should be there by now. Right, soldiers say goodbye. Now deep in the eyes of Ferdinand. It's all despair. He was comforting himself. As well as soldiers. SAO rescue has not arrived yet. It's not necessarily back. Just wait a little longer. After a long wait. Ferdinand like crazy. He laughed out loud. Stand up. Clenching his hands, his face full of confidence and hubris, said, How could you be so cowardly? Just like a dog here waiting for help. That's what the blue-haired soldier looked like. He hesitated to remind His Highness the Fadlan. Will be discovered. I don't know where it came from, but Ferdinand has such determination to fight. He put a bow and arrow on his back. Ghost Strong Mouth said, the Bombay family doesn't need 7 losers. For the glory of the family. We can't just sit around waiting like this. The blue-haired soldier panicked with his words. Ferdinand, don't move. Your Highness, you want your Majesty, you can't go now. Who wants to die here? Before this warning, Ferdinand just gave a smirk. He looked like a hero and stepped forward. Just go and say death. I will not die. The Bombay family just needs heroes. I am the heir to the future. He held up his bow. Clap your chest, confidently determined to speak out loud. We need to fight again. We need to fight a battle, to turn the tide on this land. We'll eventually plant the flag of the Bombay clan army. Anyone who wants to leave can leave now. The one who stayed with me turned back to fight. Hear that? The soldiers looked at each other with bewildered expressions. He imagined a bright future not far away. The California State Department will see it. Surely Ferdinand won. It's not a runaway dog. Right now, at the barracks of Quan Han, they all seem to be falling asleep. Sometimes there's a couple of guards patrolling around. Ferdinand's people are hiding in the bushes to stalk. Observe the situation. Ferdinand looked excitedly and shouted, kill. Destroy the Han dynasty. Conquer their emperor. At this time heard the slogan of Ferdinand. The guards of the Han dynasty shouted. To remind people. The enemy attacked. The enemy attacked. A stream of magic flying techniques on the soldiers of the Han dynasty. Make them cry out in pain. Ferdinand's expression became belligerent, excitedly saying, kill. Which one? Which one? Where's your heir going? Ferdinand's people continue to use the spooky magic to attack. But the Han dynasty's army had a shield. It's made of a lot of metal. Nothing can be destroyed. Ferdinand laughed heartily and said, one last time. It's just luck, though. When he was nailing big, he suddenly opened his eyes wide. He looks quite surprised. Out from the barracks. Ferdinand's eyes turned red when he met gold. His face filled with the spirit of his voice. Find you and give up your life. He glanced at the Ferdinand. Ferdinand gave a pleasant smile. He and his army rode forward. Suddenly Ferdinand darkened his face. He looked bewildered ahead. Mouth faltered. What is? Suddenly, there was a sound like a gunshot. He grimaced, closed his eyes, and cried out in pain. Ra was hit by a bullet from a gun. Cannon on the shoulder cap. The car's steering wheel veered into the middle of his head. The wind spoke coldly. I advise you not to move. Otherwise, you'll be immediately beaten into bullets. Ferdinand frowned and said, it hurts to breathe. Smiling hands and pillows, he said. I know you won't mind. So it's especially well arranged. Defend here to wait for you. For the gift of the native. Do we like it? Ferdinand's spicy owl talk. You are you. Let me introduce myself to you. Emperor Han Dynasty. Save Feng. Ferdinand gripped the hilt of his sword and stood up, holding the sword towards the exile. Mouth screaming, I risked my life with you. Right now, the laser sights went down the middle of his chest. Stiletto D handle to sharp knives. Run to the wind, to break the Ferdinand's sword. Just by one basic line, Ferdinand was killed. Put his hand behind his back. Put him on the ground. Wearing for Han Kola pain. She said angrily, I dare to fight. I can't see the coffin without tears. Stay close to the laser. Then raise your hand, a signal for the sniper army to stop. Soldiers use the gun hurried out of sight. Clean up the practice equipment. At the same time, the FBI lead, the crew also completed the task. But save the wind to fly back to report the situation. Master, we have returned from our mission. Predicting like God. Just go north. There's your camp, of course. Force me into the embrace of you. Then giggled. Save Feng rubbed his head pressed to smile praise. It's hard for you. Very good job. The FBI's sister, Ja, seriously reported the situation. There were guards in the camp. Have been gently dealt with by us. Besides, we found this guy. Probably a prisoner of the Kingdom of Nails. It's pathetic in this person's form. Whole body rubbing Kai tight wound. Lying unconscious personnel. Let me ask this person. Tim Moth is also close to observe. Your face is a little startled. You seem to be calling out this guy's name. Tezzy-sen, you are seriously injured, you're sad. When we were in the Bombay barracks. To discover him. He's just barely alive. My heart is like a complete collapse. She choked and cried. These people are so cruel. It should be broken into 100 pieces. Pantyhose Ti Mothi, pretty she hurts mercy. His Majesty patted her on the shoulder and told her. Take care of him, treat him well. The enemy gave me Tim. Mothi, take hand, wipe away the tears that are coming down. Then you can answer the question. Your Majesty, please help me get justice. Timothy then left for the barracks. To take care of Cho Tae Jinsen. Ferdinand is the name of Ferdinand standing in front of me. Then say next. You can't even finish the sentence. The Ferdinand spoke strongly of cursing. Then challenge me. The poor man only knows how to steal. I have the courage to let me go. We are determined to fight. Hear that, save Windclaw Chin. Smiling and smiling, I ordered Mina. The other prisoners, the whole arrangement was satisfactory. Ferdinand personally delivered to the interrogation room. We need to be careful with this guest. What he did to this land. To pay double the price. 2 days later, on the Han Dynasty's barracks. To study the testimonies of the prisoners. He was arrested and sighed. This guy's pretty stubborn too. He did not use such a figure as Mina recounted. He's always muttering something. Roughly like, the captain's rescue is coming. You'll definitely be destroyed. Save Windclaw Chin, eyes fixed thinking mouth muttered. SAO rescue troops. Save the Wind stood up. Put your hands on the table and make a bold decision. Let me go see him. Then immediately, I went down to the interrogation room to see the Ferdinand. He has no less wounds. But the face and the tie didn't cooperate at all. Arrogantly asked Liu Feng, is the smell of being questioned pleasant, Fadolin? You've lost and you haven't given up yet. Ferdinand is still talking loudly. Emperor Han Dynasty, your great time. It won't be long. Wait for the people of my family to come, and I will tear you apart. Save the hand. Pull the wooden chair out in front of Ferdinand to sit. He breathed to tease him, Haji. I'm so scared, boss, that you always talk about. The other brother and father. The woman in that rumor. Your Majesty is sitting with 2 legs. Rubbing your lips, asking a question. He assured me he wouldn't throw you away. This question of Liu Feng made Ferdinand stupefied. I'm a little skeptical. Then he loudly affirmed his position. We are the brave. Fight for the honor of the family. The Bombay family won't throw us away. He smiled sarcastically and asked again. Why? You can't see the shadow of the rescuers without seeing it. A stiff throat doesn't know how to answer. His face is dark. The wind continues to attack. Since I caught you, until now. It's been 48 hours. Exotic clan, the people unite so. Not even after a rescue operation. Ferdinand had a sad face and asked for his exile. How long does it take to get from the border? You know better than me, right? He's called Ferdinand, so. Look at the facts, Ferdinand. You have been abandoned by your family. That's what the Ferdinand is. He was screaming furiously. His eyes were red. I can't believe this truth. He's on the verge of saying we've been dumped. Abandoned by the family, Sao. This is impossible. It can't be true. Ferdinand tears flow down the net. His face in despair muttered. Why is it possible? Why is it possible? He smiled and walked closer to him. I took the key to unlock the cuffs for Ferdinand. I've always hated violence. I've always hated violence. Military organization. It's for defense. The enemy outside hit you to pay back for the damage you've done. Lock handcuffs after being opened, fall bag to the ground. Liu Fang smiled and looked at Ferdinand with joy. I'm serious. Now is the time to talk properly. Ferdinand still had a lot of hatred, he said. You and I have nothing to talk about. I kill you. He said. He threw his fist at the wind. His mouth kept screaming. Save the wind immediately grabbed the Ferdinand hand. Said with a smile. It's a shame you lost 7. Finan opened eyes to see the wind. The determination in his heart increased. He grabbed his other hand and said, Where are you going to fight me? You release both hands. Ferdinand fell to the ground and grimaced his face in pain. He said, I will beat you both. I didn't expect to make an offer. Make a way back. Let him work with us. There is a way to live for you. Think carefully, Ferdinand. It's about wanting to be a pawn that's completely abandoned. Or find a chance to get up and do it again. You are always wise. There will be no choice, right? When you're done, leave. He left his name, Ferdinand, in the interrogation room. Ponder thinking. Just went to exile and laughed softly. AI is starting to get attached to itself. This cool look isn't bad. I am not ashamed of my name. We have to thank the intermittent flow. Make your own body strong. It's a shame the girls didn't see it. In the cell, Ferdinand banged his hands on the floor repeatedly. His face was angry, he said. Why is that? I am dedicated to the family to which I belong. Why do you treat me like that? He bowed his head in silence and thought for a long time. Then Ferdinand completely collapsed. He collapsed in pain, screaming for a long time. Next, he seems to have lost his spirit. The trust of loyalty. His was betrayed. A despondent Finan sitting on the ground. They watching the leaves fall. What's the answer? All thanks to him. We just found out. The greater threat has come close to the family border. The war is about to break out. The snowstorm lasted for 10 days. But there's no sign of slowing down. The wind blows cold to the bone. Queenie with the giant dragon. Spent days and nights. Across 10 forests. It's finally coming. Suddenly, Queenie pulled the reins and let out a sound. You look at the camps. With the same modern tools. In front of you, I also suspect Ra. Qian Xin said, our companion seems to have found it. Qishi smiled brightly. 2 eyes open to see everything here. I'm so excited. Curious Han Dynasty and legend. Your Majesty and legend. What kind of person is it in the end? Going thong dong. Then suddenly 2 guards raised their hands. Stop. They're carrying guns just in case. Then ask him to stop in front of you. Your AI Quishi banging up. Look at the things that have never been seen. She opened her mouth in admiration. It's all stuff that's never been seen before. It didn't cost us thousands of miles to get here. Soldiers just held up their hands and reminded them of Quishi. Don't look around. You're the last one. Quincy stepped down from the dragon's back. Then smile friendly, introduce yourself. I'm Quincy the Dragon Rider. A passerby. This one is my companion. You hear that? Hollow night, stone cyclone, snow beneath your feet. Keep your head closed and your mouth open as if you're laughing. The two soldiers grimaced their faces. A chin-clawing guy keeps staring at the dragon. Then asked the horse. The dragon rider has never heard of it. The other one asked you what you were doing. Quian Si put her hands on her chest. Her friendly face replied, I was asked by a lost friend. To the Han Dynasty, to meet the exiled emperor. Your Majesty, please take me to see you. The two guards looked confused. They're still a little suspicious that Quincy has bad intentions. Let's talk to each other for a moment. The blonde soldier's face was wondering. This is the first time I met you. Will you help her inform? The name Kia replied, but she said she got your real name. At the same time, Ferdinand was escorted out by two soldiers. Quincy stood in the distance and stared incredulously. Suddenly, the tiger hero rushed forward screaming. Here people are not Ferdinand, Sao. Or Ferdinand, you are so carpeted. The soldiers immediately stopped Quishi and shouted at her. What are you doing? Ferdinand stands for 5 seconds. He was surprised what he said. Queenie's expression was extremely excited. She laughed and screamed, It's me, Queenie. This is your old opponent. Help me explain to them quickly. I want to see your Majesty. Ferdinand said with an annoyed face. This is a really annoying guy again. After hearing Queenie's account, the words of the spy, Han Dynasty before leaving, my face is a little sad. News I received. Thank you. Brought the news before the death of my people. Brought here. The Han Dynasty would like to thank you. Quishi smiled casually and said no need to pay attention. Don't need to pay attention. I'm just being asked. So do your best not to be discouraged. Then she looked at the Ferdinand and hatched a smile full of irony. He pointed to the wound on his body and said, But Ferdinand didn't expect you to be beaten up like that. Your Majesty is indeed an immortal name. The customer replied with a smile. Thanks for the compliment. I can't believe you to know each other. Fudina grimaced her face and said unpleasantly. We fought a few times before. Banging your hands down the table. To make an angry stone face. Now is the time to joke. Except for my territory. The father was killed. Farber's been invaded by these animals. People are living in danger. It's all the fault of your invaders. The Bombay family will surely pay the price. Fadilan's face fluttered coldly and said little. How could it die for me? I can no longer maintain a calm attitude. He also tapped his hand on the table and said eagerly. The 5 great families all went out. If we just sit around doing nothing, we'll be amplified by other clans that have been mature devoured. Winning makes the king lose the enemy. This is war. The tiger stood up with a very aggressive face. Liver voice. The unscrupulous. Tim Mo, sitting next to the adventurer. Just shut up close to your face. Not say a word. Quincy offer words for comments. The male family left the army. This word is not wrong. After the rain element begins the year. Great family. They have been hungry for a long time. Flamboyant military exploration. The enemy in front of us It's not just a family. Heart of the dark face. A bewildered face afraid to say. That's 5 times as many troops. She said with a confident smile. But also not necessary. I also felt that you wouldn't come here. Just to fulfill a promise. Whatever your life or death. It has nothing to do with me. But now my perspective has changed. I heard him ask. Do you think we have a win? Quincy heard Ella straight answer. Still is not there. This answer is as if it were a slap in the face. The expression of a wry face is quite straightforward. Why is Quincy sitting cross-checked? Because of the disparity between the 5 great families. I've all had some contact. They really did it this time. The 4 mountains of the Kiasu clan have summoned the army. Conquering the family. Now calculate Ra. The route will be here in a week. That's right, in the kingdom of Tazilla. It was soon infiltrated by the power of the family. Then the rebellion there has just been said. Difficult circumstances all over from that side. Just rely on a little of your strength. Wanting to win is not realistic, but she didn't leave immediately. At Sao Quincy respond very quickly. Because I want to see it. To what extent can you persevere? Dragon warrior, we're friends with dragons. Follow the call of nature. This world is full of wonders. It can't be completed. I want to see it with my own eyes. Your country. Could it be one of those achievements? 2 hands together, a face full of hope. You say that. Miracles like that. You're going to help us, right? The Simim laughed first. So that people don't have to wonder. You are the king when the danger is near. I'll throw you out immediately. He assured me I will not. Let that moment happen. Don't worry, Ferdinand makes a pessimistic face. He's lost his word, he's stifled people. Don't be there talking about the big moral. If you say the old men at Yasuo's flag are about to enter the family, I think you should throw this place away. I heard that. Tim Mo banged his hands down on the table. The ugly face absolutely cannot be thrown away. If you keep talking, there is no other way. Here's the truth. My men are just a vanguard. Except for the Han dynasty, you still can't stand it. If you fall into the army, the leader of a team in 5 families, you basically have no victory. Liu Feng gave a smile full of meaning. Knit 2 hands together, protesting Fuddy, Nan. This is not certain. I just turned to look at Mina. Asked about the Mina Railway. How did the railroad go to the family? Mina responds to delivery of construction to family hospitals. It's starting to stabilize. I'm almost half done now. He said he could accelerate the speed. In a moment, she mobilized an army to build a garrison at the foot of the garrison. He left a small army to guard Mina. Stand up and continue. And about the military. Led by me to the family. Welcome to the Kiasu family. You said you were pointing to the map. Quincy laughed arrogantly and said, It's a brave book. Ferdinand banged his hand on the table, and he shouted, Are you crazy? I was stunned to ask why. What is not satisfactory, Sao? Quin Seol survive analysis of difficult obstacles. In this reckless decision of Liu Feng, many of your troops are like that. How to accelerate? To catch up with the Yasuo family. How to move with such weight? How to fix it? This is not real. After hearing the holes in this move. Save Windclaw Chin. His face was still a little vague. You said it wasn't so realistic. It's more about my speed. He smiled confidently at Queenie and Fadolin. The soldiers shouted out loud, "Order the soldiers to line up. All troops out." Right now, a battalion of cars entered the barracks. Quinsep. Face into the glass on the yacht to look out. You look quite surprised. Two eyes keep looking at your mouth. This is in the air. Raise a hand to control the Air Force. She called out to the Air Force to follow. Let's go. Quincy's face was very excited. She asked me. Deceiving people in the land. Self-driving cars and SAO spacecraft. How do you extract the element? Save wind happily reveal a little. That we use is not the prime mover. But the details are military secret. The Quishi asked not to use the element. How can it be? Flay and his sister Jay. A step out to announce. Master, we are here. The two bright eyes shouted for a. Our secret weapon is here. Quishi quickly looked back. The report on the ghost of Siam has been sent here. Liu Feng smiled and said, "It's so hard. Let me help you." "Don't panic," she said. "How can we afford to be short of players? We can do it." He wiped the sweat from his forehead and told Mina. "Just like this." Me. Mani kept the GA hand and said, "Yes, young master." There are small doors around the yacht. It's slowly opening up, and it's kind of squeaking. Gunhead 6 is in that position. The enemy will not find out. Quincy's face said in admiration. Like that, it's not possible to directly operate in the air. SAO is flexible too. Smiling, I want to talk small. It's nice to have a jealous look on your face. It's good that I'm a great athlete. If so, I can fight with this machine gun. Even if there's no elemental power, you can also fight on your own. To save the wind immediately, but only know how to side-choking cough. Then he hugged Flay in his lap and praised. Flay's form is now very good. Don't rush. Whether or not, there's an awakening of elemental power. You're all one of our members. Eft smiled happily replied. Now everyone is present enough. Standing in the middle of the room, put your hands on your hips and speak. Okay, our troops have departed smoothly. There's still a while to go. Before the start of the serious conference, we still have something to do. Right now, the Air Force captain rushed into the room. Notice that your majesty is ready. Liu Feng smiled happily and said, "Just in time for us to go." The Air Force captain asked, "Your Majesty, I was called here. Is there something important?" "Don't worry, I'll know." Then he led everyone into the next room. Inside the room was a long and wide table. Open your hands and invite everyone in. You said it's hard for people to get together here. Before we get there, of course, it's a party. Oh my God, there's a lot of food on the table right now. That really looks like an eye. What is a chicken spinning a sun? Salmon sautéed egg topped with steamed shrimp, and so on. For dessert, there's plum donuts. The two bright Quishi eyes looked inseparable. His mouth is open, and he's drooling. She said unexpectedly, "On the spaceship they prepare so much food." Of course, the Han dynasty is immortal. It tastes so good too. I look up, and Tim Mo, the exam and then excitedly prepare the way. Don't you two notice? Tim can't hide the joy of asking them back. We also have the SAO part. Your Majesty, thank you. Liu Feng Tong, this time everyone is struggling. After everyone settles down, he held a glass of wine and said excitedly, "We won the Battle of Timothy, and we went. Also successful. Join us. These are all worth celebrating." Then we all touched our glasses. Drink up a refreshing breath. In the meantime, soldier girl in the ostrich tribe brings food. Distribute to everyone. Open the lunchbox raw. Everyone is also admiring and devouring. They look so happy. Tim Mo gave praise. "Your Majesty truly loves people like you." Sitting next to a reminder, compared to nothing. Don't forget your promise. Smiling, of course, I didn't forget. But in random stress, relaxation is also necessary. After drinking a glass of wine, my nose flushed. "You have an opinion," I said, "based on the ancient legend of the land of country in conjunction with country between leaders. The state should not be married. Listen to that, save the wind, smile, and enjoy. You and Tim are easy to jump up. Make a face that won't." My heart flushed with panic. "What is involved in marriage?" He smiled softly and refused. "I have no feelings for you." Suddenly, the wind was spinning $180. "You categorically reject what we don't have." Tim Mo then hugged Hoo-Hoo with his hand and cried, standing up, "Put your hand in your face and blame the American girl. People who don't have a clue." "Are you still a man?" Tim mortified. "I'm sorry, I misunderstood and lost face." The man immediately admitted to waiting. The heart is not without. To hear that, laughing happily. She said loudly, "So there is still a pervert." Tim sat next to me laughing happily. My head looked helpless. I did jump into the yellow river. It can't be washed. Jaya smiled excitedly. "You can also push the boat." Get married, get married." Leia seems annoyed, sitting quietly without saying no. Then she put her chopsticks on the table. Flay rushed to the exile. He grabbed the one he didn't leave. He shouted out loud, "Flay didn't he want the young master to scream?" Kissing teen Gia is Flay's. Flay's action made him stand out. "I have to say sweet words to you." All right, all right." Flay's mind got it. "You said you just rubbed her head." Laughing, "You look pretty happy." Mina stood up to assert her sovereignty. The evil force is so cunning. It's Mina again. You also run back into the ocean. And then they say, Mina also wants the young master. I look at this and my eyes are hot. What did you say? What the scene enjoy what raw, SAO. Ferdinand doesn't care about AI. He's sitting in a corner cleaning up all the drowned bottles. Hands down on the table. When he saw that, he went to ask Han Fadolin. What do you do? Why sit alone drinking? Ferdinand yelled at me. Someone who has everything like you. Let me get drunk alone. Hand in the packaging on the wine bottle. Laughing and getting drunk. This is unsweetened wine. You just make yourself drink. No stomach strain only. Ferdinand spits wine out of his mouth. Shoveling as seen review hungry. He was angry and asked for advice. There's no alcohol. It's called grape wine. He feasts on you at the party. Just drink this. The stern face replied. It's marching now. No alcohol, of course. Ferdinand can't learn anything. Take the chair next to him and sit down. His face was very friendly. There is no alcohol for fun. But your pain I want to hear. Ferdinand a silent muse. Then he gave a warning. Take advantage of this moment to live comfortably.